What really happened to Blake Shelton after his highly publicized romance with Gwen Stefani? Fans had watched them fall in love on The Voice, blending two very different worlds, country and pop, into a love story that seemed almost too good to be true. They performed duets together, smiled on red carpets, and built a life that included Gwen's 3 children. To millions, they were proof that second chances at love could actually work. But when the headlines started swirling about their supposed split, people couldn't believe it. Was this just another rumor? Or had the fairy tale really ended? And if it had, how was Blake Shelton coping after losing the woman he once called his soulmate? In today's video, we're diving deep into Blake Shelton's emotional journey after his break with Gwen Stefani. From his first shocking public comments, to the surprising way he has been keeping himself busy, to the private pain he hasn't always been able to hide, this is the untold story of Blake Shelton's life after Gwen. Stay tuned, because as we peel back the layers, you'll see that behind the cowboy charm and easy smile is a man who has faced heartbreak more than once. And this time, it may have changed him forever. When Blake Shelton and Gwen Stefani first appeared together as a couple, it was the kind of story that seemed destined for the tabloids. Both had endured heartbreak. Blake from his highly publicized divorce from fellow country star Miranda Lambert, and Gwen from her split with Gavin Rossdale, the father of her 3 children. Out of the ashes of 2 broken marriages, they found each other. Meeting on the set of The Voice, their bond was immediate. Both Blake and Gwen admitted they connected through shared pain and healing. They weren't just colleagues, they became confidants. Soon, the whispers of romance began to grow louder. To fans, their pairing seemed unusual at first. Gwen was a pop-punk princess, known for edgy fashion and fronting the band No Doubt, while Blake was country music's easygoing cowboy. But opposites attracted. When they performed together on stage, their chemistry was undeniable. Songs like Nobody But You and Happy Anywhere weren't just chart hits. They were love letters in musical form. The relationship quickly became public, with the couple appearing at award shows, walking red carpets and openly sharing their affection. For Blake, who had often seemed private and reserved in past relationships, Gwen brought out a softer, more expressive side. He not only embraced her children, but also stepped into the role of a stepfather with open arms. Fans adored this new, family-oriented Blake, who seemed to have finally found a deeper kind of happiness. But behind the glitter and glamour, cracks were already forming. Life in the spotlight magnified every disagreement, and their busy careers often pulled them in opposite directions. Blake, ever the small-town country boy, longed for a quieter life on his ranch in Oklahoma. Gwen, with her roots in Los Angeles, thrived on the energy of the city and her work in fashion and pop. While they did their best to blend their worlds, those differences became harder to ignore over time. The fairy tale beginning was real, but it also set the stage for the challenges that would follow. As perfect as their romance looked on the surface, whispers of trouble in paradise began surfacing almost as soon as Blake Shelton and Gwen Stefani's relationship became serious. Tabloids and gossip outlets speculated endlessly. Were they really as happy as they appeared on stage? Could 2 people from such different worlds truly make it last? At first, Blake and Gwen laughed it off. They gave interviews where they seemed almost amused by the constant scrutiny. Blake would joke that people just couldn't believe he had landed someone like Gwen, while Gwen admitted she sometimes pinched herself at how unexpected their love story was. But behind closed doors, things weren't always so lighthearted. One of the biggest challenges was geography. Blake's heart belonged to his Oklahoma ranch, where he enjoyed a slower pace of life, working the land, fishing, and living quietly away from Hollywood. Gwen, on the other hand, was deeply tied to Los Angeles, not only because of her career, but also because of her 3 children, whose lives were rooted in California. While Blake loved being a stepdad, splitting time between 2 completely different worlds wasn't easy. For every stretch of peaceful days on the ranch, there were equally stressful weeks in the city where Blake felt out of place. Then came the professional struggles. Though they collaborated musically, their careers pulled them in different directions. Blake, still touring and recording, began to scale back commitments because he wanted to prioritize family life. Gwen, however, was balancing her music, fashion line, and ongoing projects. The strain of different ambitions and different schedules created tension. While neither ever said it publicly, friends close to them admitted that coordinating their lives sometimes felt like an impossible puzzle. Another source of strain was the constant media speculation itself. Every time Gwen posted a photo without Blake, or Blake appeared at an event without Gwen, rumors of a breakup swirled. The couple often had to reassure fans that they were still together, but even those reassurances sometimes fueled more speculation. Living under a microscope meant that normal relationship ups and downs became headline news. For Blake, who valued privacy, this was exhausting. Over time, the small disagreements and logistical struggles began to weigh heavier. According to those close to the couple, it wasn't dramatic fights that tore them apart, but the steady accumulation of differences. Blake wanted to retreat more into family life and leave the spotlight behind, while Gwen still thrived in the public eye. Their love had been genuine, but sustaining it in such different worlds proved far more difficult than either expected. When the first serious reports of a possible split surfaced, fans didn't want to believe it. The couple had always seemed so united. Yet for Blake and Gwen, the reality was far more complicated. They still cared deeply for one another, but they couldn't ignore that their visions for the future were pulling them in opposite directions. By the time the breakup became official, it wasn't just a shock to the public. It was a painful admission for both Blake and Gwen. They had fought hard to make it work, but sometimes even the strongest love stories face challenges that can't be overcome. For Blake, the end of this chapter in his life wasn't just about losing a partner. It was about losing the dream of a forever love he thought he had finally found. And that loss would shape how he moved forward in ways that fans are only now beginning to understand. For Blake Shelton, music has always been more than just a career. It has been a lifeline, a way of expressing emotions too heavy to carry in silence. After the breakup with Gwen Stefani, Shelton leaned into this creative outlet more than ever. Friends and colleagues noticed how he began pouring his raw feelings into songwriting, using lyrics as a mirror for his heartbreak and healing. While some of his newer material reflects sadness and loss, others carry an undertone of acceptance, showing that he is slowly finding balance again. Country music has always celebrated themes of resilience, and Shelton embodies that tradition. He has spoken in interviews about how important it is not to let setbacks define a person's future. Instead of retreating, he has doubled down on his career, making live performances more heartfelt and deeply personal. Audiences feel his vulnerability on stage, and that connection has helped him rebuild his confidence. Beyond music, Shelton has shifted his perspective on life. Those close to him reveal that he spends more time reflecting, focusing on what truly matters, and setting boundaries to protect his peace. He has even opened up about rediscovering joy in small, everyday experiences, whether it's tending to his Oklahoma ranch, reconnecting with family, or simply spending quiet moments in nature. The breakup may have closed a chapter, but Shelton is clearly using it as an opportunity to redefine himself, proving that even in heartbreak, growth and healing are possible. As Blake Shelton looks ahead, his path may be uncertain, but it is also filled with possibility. While the breakup with Gwen Stefani was undeniably painful, it has forced him to slow down, reflect, and approach life with a new sense of clarity. Those close to him have said that he is no longer in a rush to chase the spotlight or prove himself. His focus is instead on living authentically, both as an artist and as a man. Fans often wonder if love will find its way back into Shelton's life, and while he has remained private about such matters, his recent interviews suggest that he isn't closing any doors. He believes in second chances and understands that life has a way of surprising people when they least expect it. For now, though, he appears more interested in strengthening his friendships, spending time with loved ones and cherishing the stability that his Oklahoma ranch provides. Professionally, Shelton shows no signs of slowing down. With upcoming projects and performances, he continues to pour his energy into music, giving fans a glimpse of his journey through songs that feel more personal than ever. His story has become one of resilience, turning heartbreak into strength, loss into growth, and uncertainty into hope. In many ways, this new chapter of his life may be his most defining one yet. Blake Shelton may carry scars from his breakup, but they are also reminders of his resilience and his ability to keep moving forward with grace and honesty.